Britney Griner breaks down as Patrick Bet-David delivers a savage reality check. After Griner's bizarre complaints about crowd noise and her subtle shot at Caitlin Clark, PBD didn't hold back, reminding her of the Russian prison swap and calling out her shocking racial undertones. This wasn't just a podcast. It was a public wake-up call. Let's dive in.
While this is taking place, Britney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. This is her quote. I don't know if you saw this or not when she gave that.
Patrick Bet-David just unleashed what might be the harshest reality check ever dropped on a podcast. And it came after Britney Griner made some truly outrageous remarks about Caitlin Clark. Her comments hinted at racial undertones and ignited a firestorm of conversation across social media and sports circles. The whole moment felt like a collision between misguided bitterness and unfiltered honesty, and PBD came in with zero hesitation to call it all out.
From 41. What the hell is going on with WNBA that they cannot handle all this attention that they're getting, as well as the hate and anger?
But Patrick Bet-David wasn't about to let any of it slide. He quickly reminded Griner of her time spent behind bars in a Russian prison. A stark contrast to the comfortable platform she now enjoys while criticizing the very attention the WNBA desperately needs. PBD absolutely shredded her complaints about noisy fans with a level of calm ruthlessness that made jaws drop. And honestly, what was more satisfying? Watching him school her on gratitude and perspective, or the cold reminder that she was once freed from a Russian cell through a prisoner swap involving an international arms dealer.
I'd have fun with you. Britney Griner, what she says, right there, watch this. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching.
Let's not sugarcoat what just went down on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. Britney Griner got hit with a level of truth she clearly wasn't ready for. While she was busy griping about how the crowd noise has gotten too intense and casually implying that Caitlin Clark's fame has racial undertones, PBD stepped in and dropped bomb after bomb of uncomfortable reality. The whole thing spiraled out from Griner's jaw-dropping claim that the WNBA used to be so quiet you could literally bring a laptop and get work done during games. Just pause for a moment and let that sink in. A pro athlete seriously upset that fans are now too engaged. And the fact that it came from someone who just returned to basketball after spending time in a Russian prison, that's what made the backlash hit so hard.
Used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now, it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are! The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some light racism. But
Griner actually went on record saying that WNBA games used to be calm and peaceful, where people could relax and maybe even multitask. Yes, she basically romanticized empty arenas. Now that more fans are showing up, cheering loudly, and bringing real energy, she finds it overwhelming. She mentioned seeing a father and daughter shouting from the stands, and instead of celebrating their presence, she assumed, without hearing a word, that it was either criticism of her game or some vague form of light racism. That's the actual phrase she used, light racism, to describe the sound of passionate fans at a basketball game. The fact that her first assumption about enthusiastic fans was racially charged speaks volumes about her current mindset. And Patrick Bet-David? He didn't flinch. He reminded everyone of the gravity of her recent past. How she was once incarcerated in a Russian prison, facing a nightmare scenario, and had to be traded back to the US in exchange for the merchant of death. If anyone needed a wake-up call about gratitude and humility, it was her, and PBD delivered it without pulling a single punch.
Britney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America, on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this.
When the US government negotiated Britney Griner's release from a Russian prison, they didn't just make a phone call. They traded away Victor Bout, a man known worldwide as the Merchant of Death. This wasn't some minor swap. This was a convicted arms dealer, a man guilty of conspiring to kill American citizens and aiding terrorists. That's the level of sacrifice made to bring her home. And what do we get in return? A WNBA star who returns to the court, not with gratitude or humility, but with complaints about crowd noise. Yes, her issue is literally the volume of fan enthusiasm. According to Griner, things were better when WNBA arenas were so quiet you could practically set up a Zoom call mid-game. Imagine that, a professional athlete longing for silence during a sporting event. Patrick Bet-David didn't let that slide. He torched the argument with the kind of sharp, unapologetic truth that left no room for sympathy. His point was clear. How does someone go from being locked up in a Russian cell, facing years of imprisonment in a foreign country, to being bothered by loud fans cheering in freedom? It's not just out of touch, it's almost offensive. Griner's comments weren't just tone-deaf. They landed during one of the most important turning points in WNBA history. The league, after 25 years of financial struggle, is finally surging toward a $1 billion valuation. And nearly all of that momentum can be traced to one name, Caitlin Clark. Clark has revolutionized the WNBA's visibility. Her arrival brought a wave of attention, sold-out arenas, media buzz, and actual market growth. She's not just good, she's transformative. Fourth in MVP voting, playing with intensity, charisma, and a style made for primetime television. She's the rookie who reshaped the league's future in just a season and a half. Now here's the twist that stings. The very noise Griner is complaining about is what's driving the WNBA's historic financial gains. The cheering, the packed stadiums, the soaring TV ratings, that's what's putting real money into players' pockets. This isn't some side effect. It's the engine of progress. But Griner doesn't seem to see it that way. She recalled seeing a father and daughter cheering in the stands and assumed, without hearing a word, that their excitement was either criticism or light racism. Yes, she actually used that phrase, light racism. Caitlin Clark's rookie year? Unreal. She's got Steph Curry range. Pulling up from anywhere, fearless, electric. No national title? Who cares? She still went #1 overall and earned every bit of it. She's not just talented, she's a spectacle. A rising tide lifting the entire WNBA. The numbers don't lie. Ticket sales, ratings, merch, all up because of her. That's not hype, that's hard data. So when Britney Griner complains about loud crowds or hints at racism from excited fans, it lands completely flat. This league spent decades playing in half-empty gyms. Now that people finally care, now that the money is flowing, Griner wants quiet, wants to rewind the clock to empty seats and no pressure. And let's not forget, the US traded an arms dealer to bring her home. Freedom secured through a high-stakes international swap. You'd think that would give her some perspective. But instead of gratitude, we get complaints about noise and race. Patrick Bet-David nailed it. Fans aren't the problem. They're the reason the league is still alive. Clark gets attention because she delivers. If she were just a tall white girl with no game, no one would care. But she's changing everything. Griner's issue isn't with the fans. It's with the spotlight. And now that it's shining on someone else, she doesn't like the heat. The truth? You don't get the fame without the pressure. You don't get sold-out crowds without big reactions. And you don't grow a league by silencing its success. Thanks for watching.